Alright, listen up. If you're watching this, chances are you're not broke. You're actually just too comfortable. And I just don't understand how you can be. I mean, especially if you're working in a job that you don't even like and you're still acting like it's just fine. If you're watching your parents get older as they still are working their job and you're just scrolling away like you have all the time in the world. Or you're seeing the things that you want, but you know damn well that you just can't afford it. And again, pretending like you just don't care. Or if you're living in the same city, in the same room, with the same routine, and you want to be anywhere else deep down inside, but here. And like you're saying that you want freedom, but you haven't done one uncomfortable thing all week. So yeah, bro, you're not broke, you're just numb, maybe a bit lazy. And that's honestly way more dangerous. I personally was in the exact same place until I couldn't take it anymore. And so with that said, bro, later in this video, I'm going to be going over the exact 3 non-negotiables that you need to follow that pretty much guarantees you to be able to quit your job and get that freedom and succeed in this online space. Look, if you're anything like I was, you probably don't hate your life, okay, but it's not what it could be either. You've got enough to get by, enough to hit the gym, enough to get your coffee. But the truth is, deep down, there's this weird frustration. You just can't buy the things you want. For example, you still hesitate before tapping your card. Your parents aren't retired yet, or your family isn't taken care of. You still have to ask for time off. You can't just go wherever you want, whenever you want. And you still look at other people online and think, why not me? And to be honest, you've probably told yourself, I'm going to start something. This is my year. I want to start that business. I want to start that side hustle. I'm going to start that one thing that's supposed to change my life. But every day comes and goes. Bro, you wake up, you scroll for an hour, you go to the gym, you go to school, you go to work, you hang with your friends, and then the end of the day comes and you crash. And you just tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. That same cycle over and over. To be completely transparent here, that was me for months. I'd also scroll past dropshipping TikToks, other YouTubers showing their sales for a long time. And yeah, sure, I'd feel motivated, but I'd feel guilty as well because I knew I wasn't doing anything about it. I remember very specifically this one night where I just couldn't sleep because I was up all night thinking to myself, what if I don't pull this off? What if I graduate high school, by the way, I was in school at the time, and nothing's changed and I still have to go to work or I have to go to uni? What if this is it? Just barely getting by, living for the weekend, and wondering what life could have been like if I actually just tried. And that night I realized nothing changes unless I do. And it's funny because even after I realized, nothing still changed. Because I still had that doubt. What if it doesn't work? What if I just waste time again? What if I post and nobody sees it? Or even worse, what if I fail publicly and everyone sees it? What's also funny is that most people don't actually fear failure. They fear being seen trying. Because the second you try, you can no longer hide behind the excuses of I never gave it my best shot. And yeah, bro, that's a real scary place to be because I used to be there and I can say I was scared too, but I just got to a point, I got sick of my own bullshit. The version of myself that kept talking but never actually moved. So I set myself this one rule that I'm going to build something even if nobody watches, even if I look stupid, even if I fail, because doing nothing was the only guaranteed way to stay broke. So that's when I locked in. No money, no fancy setup, no fancy gear, no budget for ads, just what many would think is a random TikTok product, and the decision to outwork people who did have the budget and did have the gear. And the craziest part is it actually started working. I turned that random product, that random object into a brand. I printed money using nothing. And by the way, I guess now's a good time to mention, in my previous video, I actually talk all about that. I went from scrolling on TikTok to building the type of brand that people scroll on TikTok for. Remember, no funding, no team, just strategy and the decision to finally act. Now, most people think success online is about finding the right product, the right timing, the right platform. But what if I told you that none of that matters if you're not the right person? And that is what I had to become, and that's what you as well can become. Because I stopped looking for the perfect idea and I just focused on moving faster than everybody else was. I was definitely not smarter, and there's nothing special and unique. I just had more urgency. I treated every day like I owed it to the version of me that never got to live free. You see, people wait for motivation and I didn't wait. I built my routine like my life depended on it, because it did. Every morning I wake up and I think, how would the 7-figure version of me behave today? And then I just acted like him even when I didn't feel like it. Once I locked in, I realized there were 3 things that honestly set people aside. And I didn't tackle them all at once. I focused, I obsessed, and that's what really flipped the switch. Which brings us to these 3 non-negotiables that I mentioned, which pretty much guarantees success. Look bro, I didn't sit around waiting for some viral ad or some winning product to just magically fall in my lap. Instead, I looked for one thing: emotion. Something that made people stop scrolling. Laugh, cry, think of someone. It didn't need to be perfect. It just needed to trigger something real. And I realized the product doesn't do the selling, the feeling does. And so that pretty much sums up pillar number 1, which is a product with an emotional hook. Now as for pillar number 2, I posted 3 times a day no matter what. No excuses. I didn't worry how bad the quality was. I just had to post 3 times daily. And if I didn't even worry if the lighting was bad. I mean, you can see more of this in my previous video, but every single video was like a lottery ticket, and each one made the store feel more alive. So knowing why people watch, comment, and click definitely helps, and that explains pillar 2, which is to just post raw, relentless content that converts. And a simple rule, just to post 3 times daily, and whether the quality is shit or not, you just post anyway. And that brings us to the final pillar, which is a brand that carries the same energy from scroll to checkout. So because when someone finally clicked, that's where most people drop the ball. I didn't just send them to a cold, lifeless product page, and I'm not saying that the website is like the most important thing here, but I did give them a world. The same vibe, the same color, the same energy that they saw in the video. It was all reflected on the product page. No drop off, just momentum. You don't need funnels, you don't need agencies, you just need those 3 pillars stacked daily. And practically that's exactly what I did. I picked a single product, I posted 3 times daily, every single day. No matter how much they underperformed, I still kept posting. No paid ads, no fancy tools, just output, direction, and clarity. And guess what? 90% of people won't even do this because it's boring, because it doesn't sound easy. But I promise you, the boring work done daily is how you buy the freedom. And the chances are you're not even stuck, you're just scared of starting. You're comfortable watching the other people succeed, and you're comfortable doing nothing about it. If you want to keep watching other people live the life that you want, just scroll. But even if one part of you feels sick and tired of it, sick and tired of being broke, being behind, or being ignored, then just shut up and just start. Don't overthink it, just pick something, order it, and literally just post the minute it arrives at your door. Just post. I guarantee you the rest will figure itself out, and even if it doesn't go crazy viral at first, you will learn. If you think of it that way, there's literally no way to fail. I'm gonna stay locked in, I hope you are too, and I'll see you at the top. Bye.